Guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are staying safe. I hope everything's good wherever you guys are. Guys, smash the like button on this video. Hit the subscribe and share the video, guys. So, guys, I've done a whole heap of Joshua Fury videos. And I want to talk about someone else. Dmitry Bivol gave an interview yesterday as well. And he said he's waiting for an offer from Beterbiev. He also said that, you know, Beterbiev is going to be a harder fight than the Canelo fight. Of course. You know, because Canelo Alvarez, although Canelo's a very skilled fighter, Canelo is a smaller guy. So Canelo was basically trying to apply the pressure on Bivol, but he didn't have the power or the physical strength to really deter Bivol. And Bivol was very technically sound. And not just that, Bivol was also very physically strong. He was very strong because when Canelo was hitting him, he wasn't really denting Bivol. Bivol wasn't dented in that fight at all. And I think that's what problem Canelo faced. Was when Canelo fought the guys at 168, firstly, they weren't as skilled. Secondly, he was able to dent those guys. With Callum Smith, he completely ruined his arm. When it came to Billy Joe, he'd bust his eye. When it came to Caleb Plant, he just hit him with a shot and Caleb was all over the place. So this is the point I'm trying to make, that that Canelo Alvarez couldn't dent Dmitry Bivol. Arthur Beterbiev, on the other hand, can dent Dmitry Bivol because Arthur Beterbiev is so strong, so physically strong, punches so hard that Bivol will definitely... Bivol doesn't want to be at the end of those shots because Beterbiev has natural power, he's raw power, and he's not even that massive. Like, he's built like a house, muscular and stuff, but he's not like a huge light heavyweight. I've seen light heavyweights bigger, taller. You know, but this guy's, he's just like a, he's huge. He's just so strong. He's so physically strong and he's like a bully. For me, he's like Golovkin. He is, you know, his physique, I will say this, Golovkin's physique isn't intimidating at all. I would say Beterbiev's physique is more intimidating because I think Beterbiev's a lot more muscular and he is built like a house. He is built like a house, whereas Golovkin kind of didn't have that physical presence that Beterbiev has. Beterbiev has a physical presence about him, and Beterbiev hits very, very hard, like Golovkin, to be fair. I think they're similar fighters. I think Beterbiev's a great fighter. I think Beterbiev's so underrated. And I think a lot of people think that Bivol will beat Beterbiev. I don't. I think Beterbiev will beat Bivol. Because I think Bivol doesn't have the power to hurt Beterbiev. I don't. I think Beterbiev has the power. I think Beterbiev will do to Bivol what Canelo couldn't do. What Canelo was trying to do, but he had no impact. I think Beterbiev will have an impact. I think when Beterbiev hits you, you'll feel it. You'll know about it. And I personally think that I think Beterbiev could get to Dmitry Bivol. I do. And I think Beterbiev is somebody, because of the fact that he hasn't got the marquee fights, and Bivol's managed to get this win over Canelo, I think a lot of people are now jumping onto the bandwagon that Bivol would beat Beterbiev because he beat Canelo. But Canelo's not a natural light heavyweight. And Canelo's his best... I mean, who did he beat at light heavyweight? He beat an old Kovalev, who both Bivol and probably... Well, no, I know Beterbiev would have wiped the floor with that Kovalev. Let's be brutally honest. I mean... but Beterbiev is a different scenario altogether. He's a different scenario altogether for Bivol. He is. He's a different scenario altogether. I actually think it's crazy enough because people might find me crazy. Although I would probably lean towards Beterbiev. I actually think Canelo has... I think Canelo could be dangerous for Beterbiev as well. Styles make fights. Some people may think I'm crazy. But let me tell you this. I think Canelo could have a good shot against Beterbiev. Even though I think Beterbiev beats both Canelo and Bivol, I think stylistically, I think Canelo could give him a good fight. I do. I think Canelo and Beterbiev is still a great fight. I know it's a fight now after seeing the Bivol fight. A lot of people probably think that Canelo's got no chance, but I actually like that fight. But I do agree, for Bivol, I do agree with him that Beterbiev is a tougher fight than Canelo. It's a tougher fight than Canelo. Now, Bivol said that he's waiting for an offer. He still hasn't had no offer. We know that Beterbiev has 3 of the 4 belts. So Bivol's got 1 belt. I think this is a fight that has to be made. Personally, I think it's for the good of the sport that we get an undisputed light heavyweight champion, and it's a fight that people have wanted to see for a while now as well. It's not quite on the level of a Spence Crawford, but I do think it's a mega fight, and I do think it's a fight which makes a lot of sense for both guys. And I think it's a fight that the division needs as well. The light heavyweight division hasn't been always been a glamorous division, and especially over the last couple of years, it's definitely not been a glamorous division. But this fight is a fight that I think a lot of boxing fans would love to see. And it would definitely be a fight that I think a lot of boxing fans would tune in. I think it's a trade fight. I don't think it's a fight that crosses over or peels, because both guys don't really have that kind of personality. But in terms of the boxing fans, I think most of the boxing fans, the hardcore boxing fans, will tune in for the fight, because it's a fight which I think is stylistically a great fight. We've got a boxer, and we've got a boxer banger, and we've got a boxer who's got respectable power in Bivol, right? Who can bang a little bit. He's not a feather-fisted fighter by any way. Bivol has power, and Bivol is a better boxer than what people give him credit for, and he's a really big puncher. So I think they both are. I think Beterbiev's a very good boxer, and he's a big power puncher as well. I think Bivol is not a massive puncher, but he's got enough respectable power, and he's a very good boxer. So I think it just makes for a cracking fight. I do favor Beterbiev, and the reason why I favor Beterbiev, I will say this though. Although I favor Beterbiev, things could change if this fight don't happen. I think the time favors Bivol. I think the longer Bivol waits, I think the more of a chance he gets. And Beterbiev's injured now, so we don't know what impact that injury is going to have. So I think the longer we wait, I think Bivol might, by the time the fight comes around, might even become favorite, because Beterbiev's old. Beterbiev's old, and he's got injured recently. We don't know how severe that injury is. There was an undisclosed injury. They didn't tell us what actually happened. So again, I think Bivol, the longer the fight drags on, I think the more it favors Dmitry Bivol, because he's the younger, fresher man. Beterbiev's old. And when you get older, you get a lot of niggles. There's a lot of things, you just slow down. You lose a yard, and you lose, a yard could make the difference in a fight at that kind of level. I think I really hope. Look, I really hope that this fight gets made sooner rather than later, because I think the fight right now is a proper 50-50 fight. I do. I think it's a proper fight, even though I favor Beterbiev. But like I said, that's assuming that Beterbiev's injury is not severe. That's assuming that Beterbiev don't get old overnight. Because if Beterbiev's not at 100% best, he can't beat Bivol, because Bivol's too good a fighter. There's certain fighters where you have to be at your 100% best to beat him, and Bivol is that guy. If you're not at 100% best, Bivol's going to beat you. He's going to beat you because he's too good. He's too skilled. He's a very skilled fighter, a very good fighter. So Beterbiev's going to have to be on his A game. He's going to have to be at his best. Otherwise, I can't see Beterbiev beating him. And like I said, Beterbiev's getting older. He's getting on. Time is not on his side. So he needs this fight to happen ASAP. And him having fights with Yard, if that is the next fight, if once he does come back from injury, right? If he fights Yard, I think he's wasting time. They need to really get the undisputed fight on sooner rather than later, really, because it's because of Beterbiev's age. What's he, 37, 38? I mean, he's getting on, man. He's getting on. That's old. That's old, man. That's old. And he's just getting older. He's just getting older. So yeah, they need to make that fight sooner rather than later. Hopefully they can make it. But I do agree with Dmitry. It's a tougher fight than the Canelo fight. Stylistically for him, it's a tougher fight. I think stylistically, Canelo is just not big enough or strong enough to make a dent in Dmitry Bivol. If Canelo's going to try those pressure fighter tactics where he goes forward and tries to basically drown Bivol, I don't think he can do that. I think Canelo would have to come out with another game plan, but I just don't know whether he's big enough and he hasn't got any physical advantages against this guy. So I feel like he can't box with him at distance, because Bivol will beat him all day long. So I think the only way he can beat him is by being a pressure fighter, but I don't think he's strong enough or big enough to really dent Dmitry Bivol. That's why I think Bivol would be a massive favorite in the rematch, because I don't see how Canelo does it. Whereas I think Beterbiev, on the other hand, is bigger than Canelo. He's stronger than Canelo. He punches harder than Canelo. So Beterbiev has a much, much better chance of denting Dmitry Bivol, because whoever Beterbiev has been in the ring with, he's dented. He's a big, strong guy. And what people don't give Beterbiev credit for is that he's a much better boxer than what people give him credit for. So that's why I think Beterbiev beats Dmitry Bivol, in my opinion. But again, I would love to know your opinion. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Smash the like button, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.